Thank you, Johnny. I wish I was also cute. Yeah, so people would probably laugh at my jokes more. All right, you guys tired of comedy? And I'm happy to announce that our comedy spaceship is about to land, and we have one more last but really funny comedian. So you will laugh your brains off. His name is Justin not Bieber. I'm sorry, Crumb. Right, Crumb?
Yeah,
Crumb.
All right, how you doing tonight?
Good.
Thank you for sticking out to the bitter end. I actually know some Swedish, but I wasn't able to use it. Knudelkompis means fuck buddy. So
hang on, you record your shit.
Knudelkompis. That's yeah. You can use that later upstairs.
All right.
So I'm actually Quentin Tarantino's brother. But
no money.
He stole all of my movies. So there's a big family
Rat
problem
bastard.
there. So as you mentioned, my last name's actually Cram because I changed it from Tarantino. Literally changed it to Cram. Obviously, Cram is such a great last name. I mean, nobody's going to make fun of it. My wife and I recently had a baby. He's 1 year old.
Woo!
Thank you.
Hej, hur är läget? Tjena! Det är inte så dumt. Jaha. Tack.
So,
She's off in your Skittles.
I think that was good. I don't know. So he's 1 year old, and a year ago when we were naming him, I had some suggestions for his name. I wanted to keep it traditional, so I recommended things like Octavius or Maximilian or Pax Romano, anything that sounded Roman, like a Roman emperor. And she said, you know, he's going to get made fun of in school. And I said, his last name is Cram. You know they're going to call him Cram it in the ass no matter what. Hey! Criminal Ding Dong.
Get the fuck out of here!
Get the fuck out of here! So recently, I've had some trouble sleeping. Had a lot of issues with my sleeping. I wake up in a panic sweat, and I call them white nightmares. So my first nightmare was a couple weeks ago, and I woke up in the middle of the night, and I had just had this nightmare that I went into a steak restaurant and I ordered Neiman Ranch steak, and I just got the USDA Prime Choice. And I was so depressed, and I'm like, I can't stand it. That's not going to work for me. I mean, my life is just crumbling before my eyes. And then, if that wasn't enough, I had another nightmare the next night, that I went into a convenience store to buy some kombucha tea, and all they had was Lipton. And then I thought I had cured the nightmares. I did some meditation and yoga, and then the final nightmare of all was I had a nightmare that my smart car was actually tipped over, and I don't even own a car. So where the hell did that come from? All right. So moving along from nightmares, another nightmare is performing last at a comedy club and having a bad set. So I don't know if any of you follow the news, but 2 days ago, Obama, master of understatement, said Afghanistan is never going to be a perfect country. That's a little bit like saying a Catholic priest is never going to be a perfect babysitter. Or O.J. Simpson is never going to be a perfect anger management therapist.
Counselor.
So, I'm never going to be perfect at my job because I'm a copywriter, and part of my job is to name new restaurants. And so I've had some hits and misses. One of my hits was I named a local cupcake place in town. I wanted to combine San Francisco and its history with the cupcake and have them sell t-shirts, so I named it Cupquake. And I thought I'm on a roll, so I named a friend was opening a seafood restaurant, and I thought just for the halibut, goes great, halibut. And I'm like, it's on. I'm just gonna keep this going, gonna keep the streak alive. And then one of my friends like, I'm gonna open up a free-range chicken shack. And his first name was Sal, so I said, all right, Salmonella's Chicken Shack. Okay, so I didn't, you know, they weren't all hits. But I did hear one guy from Wisconsin who had one that was even worse. It was called Jay Dahmer's Steakhouse. Oh, I heard the rump rat roast is fantastic. Rumpy. So like I mentioned before, I have a 1-year-old, and I like to only have one baby for now. So my wife and I invested in birth control. It's really expensive, but very effective form called Google Glass.
Yeah.
Do you have that in Australia?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically booty repellent. Once you're wearing those things, you're either going to get punched in the face, but you're never going to get any action. But then, funny enough, I actually discovered something else that does the trick, and is much cheaper. It's called Crocs. Are you aware of this
Yes,
footwear? What's that Aussie, those Aussie boots with cloth in them? What are those things called? Uggs. Yeah, that's very expensive female birth control.
Yes, if you wear them with shorts.
So I'm from Florida, the state of Florida. I don't know if any of you follow the news there, but it's a little crazy all the time. And recently, it was discovered that Disney was underpaying its employees. So actually, a lot of the employees there are homeless. Some of their prime employees who are very important to the establishment. So can you imagine going to Disneyland now, and you're at the corner of Frontierland and Tomorrowland, and there is a poor rodent there, strung out on meth, saying, "Hey, I'll suck your dick for some meth."
Oh no!
And then you keep walking, and you're like, "I just got to get that out of my mind." And then you see poor little Tinkerbell. She needs some pixie dust, offering all kinds of who knows sexual favors. And then you're like, okay, let me make it. I'm going to go down to Space Mountain. That's my happy place. This is the Magic Kingdom. Things are going to get better. And then you see this duck running around with a shirt and no pants. And then you realize that guy never had any pants. So, I don't know if any of you are big on social media. Okay, so I recently joined Twitter. And I don't know if any of you are aware of the fact that Scientology is just 3 blocks away, right around the corner. So a friend of mine recently joined Scientology, and on one hand I was like, oh, I was a little worried because it has a questionable reputation. And then on the other hand, I thought, I really want her to follow me back on Twitter, because then I can say I have a cult following. All right, yes. Coming down to the wire here. So I want to finish strong, and I got 1 minute left. Okay, I'll tell one more. So, like I said, I've been married for a while, and over the course of a relationship, you accumulate stuff: cards, pictures, 1-year-old babies, and unfortunately, you can't get rid of this stuff. So, if there's any advice that I can have on getting a relationship, I would say, have a garage sale and keep everything with the baby. All right, thanks. Have a good day.